Get out of the way.
Oh, hey, just had a crazy experience. I bought a 3DS game from Walmart in 2022. I heard some rumblings that there were some lone 3DS games that could be found in the alcohol section of my local Walmart who were looking for new owners, and I needed more Al Capone's Pepto-Bismol anyway, so it was the perfect trip. One problem.
Okay, so here we are at Walmart. Let's go see if they actually have any 3DS games. And thankfully I brought a camera so I can vlog. I forgot the camera. Well, I guess I'll have to make do. I'm here at Walmart where there are rampant rumors that there are currently some 3DS games that can be found in the alcohol section awaiting a new owner. Well, there's only way to see if this leak is credible. Let's go and see. Oh my gosh. Gosh, there's so many options.
I went with LEGO Batman 3. Man, this takes me back to my early days. Back when I played LEGO Batman 1 and 2 on the DS.
LEGO games are such a cozy corner of any game console's library. They're simple yet fun games that combine a variety of genres. Action, exploration, puzzle solving, co-op, button mashing, having an untimely death a mere 2 years after release. These games have it all. But you know what irks me? The LEGO games nobody talks about. No, I'm not talking about LEGO City or LEGO Movie or even LEGO Rock Band. I'm talking about these. LEGO games released for portable consoles. Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Nintendo DS, Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation Portable, PlayStation Vita. These have all received numerous LEGO games, yet I have to beat someone in order to get them to talk about them.
LEGO Star Wars on DS.
I played these versions as much, or possibly even more than I played the console versions. Was it just me who did this?
What did you do when your mom kicked you off LEGO Star Wars on Wii?
Played Mario on DS.
Well, regardless of how everyone else spent their spare time, I sure as hell played LEGO games on the DS. I loved them all, but among my favorites was LEGO Batman 1 and 2.
Well, since I just got LEGO Batman 3 on the 3DS, why not take a look back at the whole trilogy? Welcome back to Gaming on the Go, where I took a look at the portable version of a game or game series and tell you if you should take it on the go or just wait until you get home to play the damn game. Today we're going to be looking at the LEGO Batman trilogy on the DS systems.
Of all the LEGO game franchises, LEGO Batman is definitely one of the most iconic. When there's a big new LEGO game, it's usually Marvel, Star Wars, or DC. It's just a fact of life we have to get used to. And each game in the trilogy have of course received a version for a DS system. 1 and 2 was released on the DS, 2 was also released on the 3DS, and 3 was released on the 3DS. So let's take a look at these and see if they're actually good or if I was blind as a child. The DS version of LEGO Batman the video game was released alongside the flagship version on September 23rd, 2008, and I cannot find anything about the DS version's development. I think all there is that this is a DS port of LEGO Batman. Now, I do need to make something clear. I have not played the flagship version of this game. I rented it from Family Video years ago, but I didn't enjoy it enough to want my own copy. I got it on PC years ago when it was free on Epic Games. I still haven't played it yet, it's on my bucket list, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. I don't remember exactly when I got the DS version of this game, I just know by early 2014, I had beaten this game way too many times. But how is it 14 years later? Well, let's find out. I'm home. So this is the Batcave. Like the main game, this is the hub world. I love all the beeps and boops, it's just so nostalgic. And graphically for the DS, this looks pretty good, especially for a 3D DS game. It's a small area, but it's fun to run around in. There's a trophy room where you can build a bunch of little tokens for Batman's greatest adventures, and the Bat computer, and that's kind of it. You can also go up to Wayne Manor in a small area with just some studs, and that's really my biggest issue with this hub. There really isn't anything to do here. There are no collectibles. You can just go to the trophy room, Wayne Manor, and Arkham Asylum. We'll get to that later. Like the console version, the core of the game is the mission, split up into 3 chapters if you will. Each chapter focusing on one of the big Batman villains. The first is based on the Riddler, and let's just jump straight into gameplay. First off, instead of cutscenes, the game had comic panels to show the story, and this is just so damn good. As I mentioned a year ago when talking about LEGO Marvel Superheroes for DS, I hate it when LEGO games just downgrade the cutscenes to run on the DS. This is just so much better. There are multiple ways to make cutscenes work on the DS, and this is a damn good one for a superhero game. The illustrations are all gorgeous with so much color, and it just shows so much love and care. And after the cinematic, it's time to actually play the game, and there's a lot to unwrap. First off, the control. It's pretty good. My only criticism is that they punch a bit too slowly. It feels a bit clunky, but it's not that bad. Like the console version, Batman and Robin have unique abilities to solve puzzles and traverse areas too. For some reason, Batman can double jump, but not Robin, which makes no sense. Robin is the acrobatic one, as some of his abilities include using acrobatic pads, using chutes, and walking on a tightrope. So why does Batman have a double jump, but not Robin? Batman's other abilities include using grappling pads, and that's kind of it besides his other suits. Yes, so like the console version, there are these pads that give Batman and Robin alternate suits with special abilities. Batman has the glide suit, which is like a black version of his main suit, but with some gliding thing. This lets him glide.
Oh, really?
The demolition suit lets him use explosives, and the Arctic suit lets him survive in cold areas. As for Robin, he has the magnet suit, which lets him walk on magnetic walls, and the toxic suit, which lets him walk through toxic things. And that's it for the suits. They all only have one special ability and just exist for really simple puzzles. Outside of the special suits, they can both throw batarangs, but that's kind of it. As for the gameplay, it's just making your way to the end of the level. The way it usually goes is Batman makes it a bit farther than Robin because there's something that only Batman can use. Then Batman has to do something to get Robin to where he is because the next area needs Robin. That's the core of it, with such invigorating puzzles as pulling a lever, building a grapple pad, building an ice cream cone. The gameplay just feels repetitive with slightly different environments each time. Some of them are cool. In the Joker's levels, you start in a chemical factory, which is lame, but then you go to an amusement park, an art museum, and then a cathedral. It is really cool theming, but that doesn't change the fact that the gameplay is super repetitive. You just make your way to the end of each level using the same damn characters in each level. Each level is a boss fight, and some of these are creative. You have to get Bane to slam into these shipping containers, Scarecrow uses fear toxins, Harley Quinn's fight has a roller coaster coming by often, but that doesn't change the fact that it's playing as the same two characters and using the same 5 abilities to complete each level. The middle level of each chapter is also a vehicle level, each chapter using a different vehicle. In the Riddler chapter, you use the Batmobile, Batboat in the Penguins chapter, and Batwing in the Joker's chapter. These vehicle sections are pretty fun and a nice change of pace. It's just a 2D move left and right and shoot. It's simple but mindless fun and offers a break from the standard gameplay that I'm constantly begging for. The level lengths are okay for portable play. Each level is usually about 2 areas followed by a boss fight. It's okay, but can be a bit long for a portable game. Now, as I mentioned earlier, another hub area is Arkham Asylum, and that's because after you beat the game, you get to play through similar areas, but now with the villains. Some parts of the levels are copy-pasted, but others have completely unique sections. And playing as the villains, there's at least one new character to play as in each level. They still have the same abilities as Batman and Robin have, the puzzle types don't change, but you'd be surprised how much different looking characters help.
I love spreading misinformation.
Listen, this is cool, and I was initially excited for this upon my revisit, but by the time I got to it, I was already exhausted by the first 15 levels. Different characters are cool, but that doesn't change the fact that you're still placing explosives, using grapple pads, and all those things that you were doing as Batman and Robin. It's a cool bonus to add some more content to the game, but it's the last thing I want to do after playing through the base game. Actually, scratch that, it's getting 100% in this game. So for this game, the collectibles are simple. Some Bat mini kits and a red brick. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I really don't care. What I do care about though is Villain Hunt. Villain Hunt is a mode exclusive to this version of the game. This is like the bounty hunter missions in LEGO Star Wars. A villain is hidden in a level and you have a limited amount of time to find him. It's really cool, and because of that, some obscure Batman villains make their way into this game, like Ventriloquist and Azrael. This mode is really cool. It's fun, short spurts of gameplay, and it's a neat way to add some of Batman's rogue gallery into the game. And that's basically it for LEGO Batman the video game. It's not the most fun to revisit these days, but I will say, for the target audience, that being kids, this was pretty good. And hey, if you ever walk into class and see someone playing LEGO Batman on DS, you know who it is.
Nikes!
I did enjoy this game a lot as a kid. I sunk a lot of time to it. I wouldn't say it's a bona fide masterpiece, but as a kid, I really loved it. It was an amazing portable LEGO Batman experience, and I feel like the fact that I really enjoyed it as a kid is really all that matters.
On to LEGO Batman 2, a game that I initially got for the DS only right after I got the system. But a couple of months later, I got the console version and I was blown away by it, primarily by the open world. I'm pretty sure this is the first open world game I played, and the fact that you could go wherever you wanted, whenever you wanted outside of a level blew me away. I had a blast running around the amusement park, exploring Arkham Asylum, flying to the top of Wayne Enterprises building. This game was a blast, and I loved the DS version just as much. I loved it so much I got stuck on the first level. I eventually figured out what I was doing wrong and proceeded to play through the whole game and adored it. Too bad its development is a fucking mystery. Go on the game's Wikipedia and there's nothing. It just says there was a version released on the DS.
Really?
Well, the game was also released on the 3DS, and based on the gameplay, it seems they made the 3DS version first, then did some graphical downgrades to make it run on the DS. And it does that pretty well. Unlike the first game, which starts you in the Batcave, this one instead hops straight into the story. And great. Yeah, they downgraded the cutscenes, and Well, it's a bit better here because the levels do a decent job resembling the flagship versions. It's not like LEGO Marvel on DS where you're fighting Sandman in the middle of a sand abyss and all of a sudden they're on top of a rooftop in a cutscene. And the gameplay, I'd say it's improved. It really feels noticeable that this is a post-Arkham game, as the combat feels a bit similar to that game. The main thing is things like the jump kick and how it goes slow motion and zooms in before you kill an enemy. I definitely enjoyed the combat a lot more here. I love the combat in the Arkham games, and while it's not as good here, it's still really enjoyable. And the first level is also really good. I think it does a good job hooking the player. I mean, you fight so many villains as you make your way through Gotham Theater. You use a wide variety of abilities, and speaking of which, Batman and Robin each have their own abilities again. This time around, they both have a grappling hook and batarang, and now Robin is the one who can double jump. Instead, Batman has a glide, once again just like the Arkham games, and Robin can also use acrobatic pulls and shoots. And they also have special suits, each having advantages and disadvantages compared to the main suit. Batman has a sensor suit, which lets him see through certain walls and also turns him invisible, allowing him to sneak past cameras. The power suit gives him super strength and explosives to destroy several objects. And the electric suit, which can withstand electrical things and also gain electricity from an electricity terminal. And the last two suits have the disadvantage of not being able to glide, which is neat as they aren't definitive suits. They're just suits that give him a special ability. And I also like how each suit has two purposes instead of just one. Robin has the magnet suit, which lets him walk on walls and attract studs. The hazmat suit lets him survive in hazardous areas, and also he can store liquids in the tank that he can then spew out. And lastly, the Arctic suit lets him freeze water and survive in cold areas. As for the gameplay, it's a lot more fun than the first game. I will say, level length wise, this game is weird. Some levels can take a while and others are done in mere minutes. Like the level where you try to deactivate Joker's mech as it flies to Gotham, that level is so short and you can get all the collectibles in story mode. And then levels like Ace Chemicals are a f***ing marathon. However, in this level, you do get what really enhances the game for me, as that is Superman. As the title suggests, you get to play as multiple superheroes from the DC universe. Superman is quite fun. He can fly, freeze things, and shoot his laser eyes. And that's it until level 13 when you get to play as Cyborg and Green Lantern. And in the last level, you get access to Batman, Superman, Robin, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, The Flash, and Cyborg. Superman does add a decent bit of variety, but most of the game is still just Batman and Robin, and then Batman and Superman. But the last two levels are quite fantastic. Being able to play as most of the Justice League is quite fun. If only it was for more levels. I will say though, there is a better variety to levels. Unlike the first game, which felt like city, factory, city, factory, city, factory. This game goes from a theater, to Arkham, to Ace Chemicals, to a giant car, to the Batcave, to the VTOL, to LexCorp, to the Jokerbot, to Gotham Metro, to City Hall, to Wayne Enterprises. It keeps the game fresh with how different each location is. As for collectibles, it's pretty simple. 5 Batman kits which each unlock a character. There are also a red book that unlocks a variety of extras as always, and then sound bites, just a line of dialogue from a villain. I love this so much when I was younger. I would pretend to be an edgelord with these.
Whatever you build, I will break. So this is Earth. However can you stand it?
What's next? Vehicles? Well, you do drive the Batmobile at the beginning of level 6, but that's it. The Batcave is once again the hub, and it's once again cool, but there just really isn't anything to do here. There's a bonus mode where you play as members from the Justice League and fight waves of enemies, which is cute, but that's about it. Really isn't much else. I love this game. It was one of my favorite DS games back then, and it's still a decently enjoyable time. I think it does a good job of taking the console version and cramming it down into something that would fit on a DS cartridge.
Well, that was a fun trip down memory lane. Now, let's play LEGO Batman 3 on 3DS for the first time.
LEGO Batman 3. Oh man, I love this game. It's been well over 5 years since I last played this game, but oh boy did I like it. I felt like the levels were immaculate with a huge variety of locations and good puzzles. The character roster was mind-boggling. I didn't know Composite Superman was even a character. And the hub world, sure, they weren't as cool as Gotham, but I still have LEGO Batman 2 if I want to explore Gotham. I can explore space here. Turns out I'm stupid. LEGO Batman 3 is one of the more criticized LEGO games, primarily for the hub worlds.
What?
I mean, of course I prefer an open world, but I thought the planets were cool. I don't care what anyone says, I love this game because I had fun with it. So let's try the version of the game that has always intrigued me. After LEGO Marvel Super Heroes DS and seeing some other 3DS LEGO games, I was always intrigued by them because I just assumed they were all worse now. I just didn't want to let go of the DS ones, but looking back, they weren't going anywhere. So, LEGO Batman 3 on 3DS, here we go. So, I feel like the easiest descriptor is a sequel to the 3DS version of LEGO Batman 2.
Oh, really?
I mean, graphically and mechanically, this feels like LEGO Batman 2, but expanded upon. That may seem like a redundant description, like a f***ing course the sequel built off the prior entry, but I was expecting something more in line with LEGO Marvel, and thankfully I'm wrong. Mostly. So the biggest similarity is that all levels are broken up into 3 parts, but I feel that it does work pretty well here. Each part is one single area and will generally take 5 minutes or so, which I feel is perfect for portable play. The last part of each level is usually a boss fight, and these are also pretty fun. They're not as good as 2, I mean those first few levels were just a boss marathon, but these bosses were fine. What was exceptional though was the actual gameplay. This is easily the one I enjoyed playing the most. There is just so much variety between the environments and the characters. You play as so many, which make the game so much more enjoyable. The game takes you to space, which just allows for even more variety than the second game. It also adopts a non-linear structure towards the end, which is neat. And another neat thing is the hub worlds. This game lets you explore the Batcave and the Justice League Watchtower, and it's definitely a huge upgrade from the prior 2 games. There's a surprising amount of things to do. There are collectibles spread all over. The combat is once again very Arkham-like, and even adds another Arkham mechanic, that being the counterattacks. Once again, the other suits mechanic returned, but here it's different as more than Batman and Robin get alternate suits. Cyborg, Joker, and Lex Luthor also get special suits which grant them special abilities, and some are exclusive to certain characters. The Demolition suit allows you to use explosives and destroy silver objects. The Sonar suit lets you shatter glass. The Space suit gives you a laser to destroy gold objects, and you can also collect fuel to fly for a brief period of time. The Sensor suit lets you turn invisible and see through walls. The Electro suit allows you to move electrical charges. The Big suit lets you grow big. Mind Control lets you mind control. Magnet suit lets you control magnetic objects. The Hazard suit now lets you vacuum up trash and put it in one of these things. There are so many damn suits, which allows for so many more puzzles, and they're great here. All of that is nothing new. That was all present in the console version, and that's the thing. I really can't think of anything major that's different. Obviously, the level structure is different and that kind of stuff, but story-wise in the worlds you go to, it all feels close enough to the console version. Honestly, going into it, I was pretty reluctant since this was the 3rd portable LEGO Batman game I was playing in a damn week, but I actually really enjoyed it. It honestly may be my favorite of the 3. I feel like it had the most variety between the levels and the characters. It controlled pretty well, I liked the puzzles, it looked nice graphically, and I just really enjoyed it. I definitely had my fill for now, but in the future, if I ever want 100% a game out of boredom, this is definitely a high up pick.
And that is the LEGO Batman trilogy on the DS family of systems. I really enjoyed this journey. It was really fun revisiting 2 childhood favorites and playing a new game for the first time. It was nostalgic, but also fresh. This was the first time I played them in years, and so it was cool looking back on them with a modern eye, because not only has the handheld video game market changed, but so have I. And LEGO Batman 3 on 3DS, I played it for the first time and I really liked it. And I wouldn't have known that I liked this game if I didn't take the journey, but I loved it. So I should try new things. Let's see what I should do next. Ah! Homicide it is.